Yo YouTube, what is going on? AJ here, back with another video, and in today's video your boy's going to be ranking the 5-star weapons, the 4-star weapons on a tier list. The only weapons we will not be ranking are obviously the blues, the greens, and the grays, as I don't think anybody should be using these weapons right now. And if it sounds like I'm under the weather, guys, then I apologize. It's because I am a little bit sick. Your boy's trying to recover as fast as he can, but the grind does not stop, and I want to give you guys the best content possible. So if you guys like the videos on this channel, make sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe, guys, as doing all that does keep the lights on my channel, and I appreciate the support tremendously. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay guys, so like I said, we're not going to be ranking the greens, the blues, because they're just completely useless right now in my opinion. And as of the amount of pulls that Kuro has given us, the amount of free stuff, I do believe everybody should be dabbling with 4 stars and 5 stars. A lot of the 4 stars, guys, aren't that good, so I'll be quickly ranking some of the 4 stars. The ones that are good, I'm going to stop and talk about for a couple seconds. Without further ado, let's start with variation. Now variation, it scales with attack and energy regen, and I'm going to say this right now, this may be the only weapon that goes into the S tier category. The only reason I say that for a 4-star weapon and why it's going into the S tier category, it's an easy choice. It's a 4-star. It's easy to get and achieve in the game right now, and it's Verina's best weapon right now currently that you can use in the game, just because the scaling has energy regen on it. So the fact that this is the only 4-star weapon, honestly guys, it's gonna make it into S tier, but it's the fact that the best sustain has an easy 4-star weapon that you can grab real quick and level it up and put it on her, and boom, she's ready to go. This is probably gonna be the only 4-star I rank here. Next, we have Unending Flame, Thunderbolt, and Sword 18. Now quickly, I'm just gonna do them like I said, guys. I'm gonna put them in the B tier. There's not much really to talk about, guys. You can always talk about weapon passes, but at the end of the day, if the main stats that they're scaling off of are double attack, they're kind of useless, especially when these are mainly for support buffers / sub DPSs or main DPS options. You're never gonna find anything good. You really need crit rate or a crit damage stat to bring value, guys, and double attack just brings literally no value until we get a pure attack scaling, maybe DPS or sub DPS. Okay guys, next up we have Stoneard. Now I'm gonna put Stoneard in the A tier. Reason being is because it gives you 20% crit rate when you max level it, and it gives attack scaling secondary. The fact that it gives crit value easily bumps it from where it could have been into the B tier easily into the A tier. My main reason it's not an S tier, even though it does give that 20.2%, is the fact that a lot of people don't utilize Lin Yang right now, and this is mainly used for main DPSs and stuff like that. So the fact that Lin Yang is barely ever utilized and stuff like that, most people don't use Gauntlet users. And then Jian Xin, you can always throw on a supportive item. Most people don't even play her as a main DPS currently. And the reason why I'm putting this in A tier, and I'm gonna mention this right now even though it's not on the tier list, if you guys are looking forward to Xiangliyao, and like I said guys, hopefully he is free. That way, if a lot of you guys have pulls saved up, you can go for his weapon. I have a video on the weapon breakdown for Xiangliyao and me reading the description, passive, and talking about it. That weapon, when it comes out, that 5-star weapon, like I said, if they make him free, that 5-star weapon is going to go in the top of S tier, because the stats and the bonuses on it and the description it gave out is so good for everybody. I'm talking about Jian Xin, Lin Yang, Xiangliyao, and any future Gauntlet user. Even if you didn't want to get that character's signature, that weapon is going to be such a strong alternative stat stick to have, and I would just recommend investing pulls into that weapon. But yeah, Stoneard is a good 4-star option. Next, we're gonna go over Scale Slasher and Recertifier, and I'm usually just gonna put these in the A tier, but behind Stoneard. So yes guys, I am doing left to right. Only reason being that these even make it into A tier, they're not double attack, they have energy regen on it, guys. These seem like just supportive weapons, so the fact that they both give energy regen, if you ever needed a 4-star option, there you go, for a character that does need energy regen, that will be a future support unit. Next up we have Pistol 26 and Nova Blast. Just gonna put him in B tier. Like I said guys, already kind of dismissed them with double attack. Marcado, even though it does give energy regen, I'm gonna put it in the B tier. Obviously, like I said, with Gauntlet users, there's not really that many right now to utilize. And even still, I don't know the percentage of people that do use Jianshin too, but I know most people just want to use Jianshin as a sub DPS or a main DPS, so they're more so looking towards like a DPS option, kind of like this one right here in A tier, or they're gonna pull for Xiangliyao's weapon. So I kind of already disqualify this gauntlet just right off the rip. Next up, Lunar Cutter, Lumine Gloss, Janzo Keeper. All three of these, again, double attack, guys, just not it at the current moment for 4 stars. Hollow Mirage, the same thing can be said, just goes into B tier. Hopefully they give us better 4-star options, guys. I know it seems like it's like, oh, I'm dismissing the 4 stars, but honestly, because of the amount of free stuff they gave us and because of the amount of characters we got and the selector banner and all this other stuff, I do agree to some extent with some people that most people are probably were smart and we're just rolling for the 5-star options in general, and that's the bread and butter most people want to know about. But the general reality is, guys, a lot of the 4-star options just aren't good, and obviously double attack just isn't very valuable at the current moment. Helios Cleaver. Okay, so with Helios Cleaver, I will do it with into A tier. My only reason with Helios Cleaver is that if you don't have a 5-star broad blade option, which I do think is a little bit crazy because most people have pulled for a broad blade character and probably have gotten a weapon along the way, then this weapon is pretty much useless. But I do think for you Calcharo mains, if you don't have a 5-star broad blade and you do want a good alternative option, I wouldn't even say good, it would just say very mediocre to decent, then you have this weapon right here, and essentially you can just go ahead and slap that on. Okay, so Gauntlet, 21D, and Discord, we'll just throw them in the back of A tier. Again, the only reason they're even in the back of A tier, good supportive options because they're just offering energy regen. So again, if we do need future units that are supportive, more so, obviously you have your variety of weapons to choose from that do have other things besides attack scaling. These are mainly energy regen. Dauntless Evernight, attack and defense, just gonna throw it into B tier. No unit that scales with defense or is a supportive defensive unit right now. We don't have a shielder at the current moment. Let's see when Kuro does drop a shielder, then this list will maybe change. Commando of Conviction and Comet Flare, just both gonna go here. The only thing I will say with Comet Flare, it does offer HP, but guys, we don't have a character that scales with HP or utilizes it in that class where Verena is. Cadenza and Broadblade 41, because of the energy regen, like I said, same as before, supportive, just throw them in the back of A tier. With Autumn Trace, guys, this is a Broadblade. This is another 4-star option, and yeah, like I would rather use this instead of the other Broadblade we put, and I would put this, I think I would put this as the second best option, because this weapon actually gives you crit rate, which is already valuable, and I do believe it does increase the attack by 4%, dealing basic damage or heavy attack damage, and it stacks up to 5 times. So at least it's giving you somewhat of a decent sort of like description, obviously description of the weapon and what it does, the bonus stats obviously, and it offers crit rate, so that in that regard is already valuable. Honestly, it may be more valuable than Stoneard just because there's more Broadblade users that people use, so I may just put Stoneard second in A tier, and I'll put Autumn Trace first. Then I'll put Augment above that, because Augment does offer crit rate as well. And like I said, guys, there's a lot of certifiers that you can use. Yinlin is out. Obviously, if you didn't roll for her weapon, then you can use this on her. It offers crit rate. Zhezhi's around the corner, guys. You can use this on her. And future sub DPSs that do use a certifier, this is a good alternate 4-star weapon. And then for the final one, we have Amidia Cord, and that's just going to go straight to B tier because nobody utilizes defense, and it's a gauntlet. So now we have all the 4-star weapons done, completely finished. Let's move on to the meat and potatoes of the tier list, and we're gonna go on to the 5-star weapons. Let's talk about Cosmic Ripples. Now, Cosmic Ripples, where do I rank this weapon? Oh yeah, guys, that's where I rank Cosmic Ripples. Now the reason being is, guys, automatically just off the rip, double attack scaling on a limited 5-star weapon. Holy trash. I mean, they didn't even bother with this, and they could have improved this weapon. Like, they could have gave it crit rate, they could have gave it energy regen to make it supportive, anything like that. They could have gave it crit damage. I mean, any of those three would have easily put this weapon into S tier, but the fact that it is double attack scaling is very unfortunate. Moving on with Abyss Surges. Abyss Surges, I'm going to put this right here too. Double attack scaling, not very good at all. I don't even think any Jian Xin mains or Lin Yang mains truly do use this weapon. I mean, a lot of the Lin Yang mains and Jian Xin mains that I've talked to personally, they're all excited, looking forward to Xiangliyao's weapon and to pull that weapon so they can throw it on their Jian Xins and their Lin Yangs. So that tells you everything you guys really need to know. And it is unfortunate, guys, that we don't have very good options for these two 5 stars. These are 5 stars. You have to waste your regular standard pulls to pull on these weapons. And like I said multiple times throughout this video, double attack scaling is just not worth it. Okay, next up is Static Mist. Easily, and I mean easily, S tier. Like, this is literally amazingly, if I was to recommend which weapons to pull on, this is one of the easiest choices. This is universally good for all pistol users, especially that sub DPS category. It offers crit rate. One of the main units that does utilize this weapon is Mortefi, and I know a lot of you Gian mains who pulled on his banner who do get multiple copies of Mortefi on there. You know, you can build your team easily. You know, you slap a Gian on the team, you slap a Mortefi, slap a Verena, you're good to go. And then you pair Mortefi with this weapon. It gives you energy regen, it gives you crit rate, attack secondary scaling, you're good to go. Next up is Emerald of Genesis, and easily as well, I would say, obviously it's going in the S tier. The thing I'm having trouble debating about is, does it go here over the pistols or not? For me, I'm going to rank it over the pistols just because eventually in the future, guys, I do believe we'll get a pistol user that is amazing, that has a great weapon that people are going to want to pull on, and obviously that weapon does become stat sticks for future units. But the reason why I'm ranking Emerald of Genesis mainly higher is because when we talk about Changli's weapon and stuff like that, Changli's weapon only has like a 7 to 6% difference. I do believe it is 7% damage difference from Emerald of Genesis. That and the fact that crit rate, like I said, guys, is a common theme. Crit rate is very hard to achieve, especially when rolling for main stats, substats, all that other stuff that you do need for characters. And this gives you crit rate, energy regen, but overall for your main units like Changli, like Havoc, Rover, this is a very phenomenal option. And you don't even have to pull on Changli's main weapon because the damage difference literally is barely anything. Next up, we have Lustrous Razor. I'm going to give Lustrous Razor, I would say, I would put Lustrous Razor in A tier, mid A. Double attack kind of sucks. I do know the passive though, like when you release the skill and stuff like that, increases your liberation damage for a couple seconds, which is really good on Calcharo. But I don't think a lot of other broad blade users right now, like Jinsi and Gian, like their weapons are way better suited than this weapon. Next up, we have String Master, Yin Lin's signature weapon. Now we're getting into top 4. Yin Lin's signature weapon easily goes into this. Super strong weapon, guys. Honestly, the fact that it does give crit ratio scaling, attack secondary, obviously it's perfectly suited and tailored to Yin Lin as a character, guys, for all her capabilities as a sub DPS, boosting her all around damage and stuff like that. But in general, guys, if you do pull on this weapon, and I do say the same thing, even though Zhezhi's coming out, and obviously Zhezhi's weapon is going to be mainly tailored to her, as all signature weapons are tailored to the characters. However, this weapon, String Master, being just a good all around stat stick for the 5-star recertifier class, is just huge, and you can justify not pulling Zhezhi's weapon because you have something like this, and you can just keep using this on other characters. You know what I mean? You genuinely, when you're a light spender or even free to play, if you have enough pulls, genuinely these weapons, you just want to invest in one of them long term, and then you can just start applying them to other characters. I know characters won't, limited 5 stars at least, won't be able to utilize every aspect of the kit, but generally Obviously, the main character that you pull for, which is Yinlin, will be able to, and this is 10 out of 10 for them, but these weapons do for other characters are more like a 9 out of 10. And that's a very phenomenal option, especially when the damage difference is only slightly changed. Obviously, the main options for them, their signature weapons, are going to be tailored to them, therefore they are the best. But the fact that this is a phenomenal alternative stat stick, probably going to be the second best option for sub DPS for certifiers, it's a solid S tier for me. Okay, next up we have Jian's weapon. Now Jian's weapon is a little bit of an interesting case, and I'm going to put Jian's weapon as the third best option right now over the pistols. The only reason it doesn't go above the other two right now, because I'm going to explain Zhezhi's weapon in a second, but Jian's weapon, mainly the main stat that it does scale with, obviously guys, is the crit damage ratios. As I've said before, easily tailored to Jian, perfect 10 out of 10 weapon for him, makes him amazing. But the unfortunate reality is too, guys, you have to understand that because it is crit damage is a lot easier to achieve in Wuthering Waves as a stat than crit rate, you know what I mean? And long term for Broadblade users, you're trying to balance and get to this 70 220 plus crit rate to crit damage ratio to sort of like, you know, peak out your characters. A lot of people, I don't even believe, can even hit like 70 crit rate, and I know that's crazy to some people thinking that, but it just depends. Like if you're an average or casual player, I don't even think it's hard for you to achieve 70 crit rate, because it takes a lot of time farming echoes, obviously, then leveling those echoes up, then hoping the roll is right. So the fact that Jian's weapon, if it was crit rate, easily would have been in top of S tier because of the amount of Broadblade users we have that are 5 stars. But because it is crit damage, I'm gonna put it as the third spot right here right now for the S tier. Okay, next up we have Zhezhi. Now with Zhezhi, easily top of S tier. Just, we're not going to spend too much time on it. Obviously, it just offers one thing that Jian's weapon doesn't do. It was literally just crit rate. Like literally crit rate right now as a stat is more valuable for DPSs currently in the game right now. I would rank Zhezhi's weapon in S tier, guys, on the top of S tier because of the 3 Broadblade 5-star users that we do have. We have Calcharo. If you're still planning on using him, this is a good alternative stat stick for him. Jian can utilize this as an alternative stat stick. Obviously, the weapon bonuses and the description on it aren't really that great for Jian, as Jian wants heavy attack, obviously, but the fact that it does offer crit rate is a great alternative stat stick for him. And obviously Zhezhi being the best DPS in the game, and then you pair her up with her signature weapon, you just guarantee a higher crit rate, and you want the crit to land when you press the enhanced skill, when you fill up that meter, and then you can just press her ult, boom, she nukes the entire field. And there should be no doubt that this is right now, I would say, if you were to pull for one weapon, I would have just invested in Zhezhi's weapon, as universally for the 5-star Broadblade users, you could have just slapped this on and used them on all of them. And the final weapon we're going to rank is Blazing Brilliance, Changli's weapon. And right now with Changli's weapon, I'm going to say it's the, on the S tier at least, in the S tier, it is the worst 5-star in the S tier. Only reason being, guys, is like I said, it's the fact that her weapon wasn't even a significant upgrade over Emerald of Genesis. Even though it is Changli's best in slot weapon though, just the fact that you have to roll all that premium Astrite, which is limited currency, versus you can use the green standard pulls that you get, and we do get a lot of those, guys, on the weapon banner, and you can pull the Emerald of Genesis. I don't think it's worth it in that regard, especially with being such a minimal difference. So I'm going to leave that right here. All around though, guys, this is currently right now how I'm feeling about the weapon situation. Obviously the 4 stars, guys, majority of the 4 stars suck. I try to put some into the A tier because they're supportive with the energy regen not offering double attack. These 3 5-star weapons, guys, they should have just, Kuro should have just changed it and improved these. These, I believe, are just the battle pass weapons that are 4 stars. So if you do get a battle pass here and there, I do recommend picking up one of these depending on which character you're using, which archetype you need. If you don't have a premium 5-star, obviously this 4-star weapon will be best for Verena, energy regen offering, and the 5-star rankings I had good reason. Crit rate obviously is the stat you want to value the most. That's why these three are the highest. Obviously, these signature weapons, though, do outweigh the other weapons right now, would say, in the game. Emerald of Genesis being better than Changli's. And then the pistol users, obviously, this is right here for now. For the limited 5-star, but this, when we get more 5-star pistol users, could easily go somewhere like up here or up here. But that's it for this video, guys. What do you guys think? Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as it does support your boy and it does support the channel. Also follow your boy on Twitter, as we're trying to improve over there, get our followers up, and engage with you guys, and engage more on the Twitter posts, in the gotcha space at least, guys. Nothing toxic, all just positive stuff, and just like want to interact with you guys more and interact with different posts and stuff, and see what you guys think on certain things as well. That's it for this one, guys. Sorry that I'm under the weather, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.